So check this out. Bitcoin has ended up falling down to one of the support levels we were looking at. We're now just kind of brushing up against some resistance. There's some really, really cool stuff going on this chart. And I want to break all this down for you, talk about some potential short-term moves that could be coming up, things that I'm watching very, very closely, and obviously talk about both sides of the market. So if you're excited for this, do me a favor and just smash up the likes as we're coming into this video right here. Double check that you're subscribed and got the bell icon checked as well so that you don't miss out on any of this very, very time-sensitive content. And without wasting any more time, take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. If we circle some key kind of price levels that we reached above this yellow box of resistance right here, and we just kind of, if we just decide to ignore everything that happens up here, take a look at what's happening down here. Bitcoin has pretty clearly basically entered an ascending triangle pattern right here, which is actually quite a nice kind of thing to see in this market, because again, if we discount what happened above this yellow box, we are actually in an ascending triangle right now that really should be at its resolution point right now. We've been in it for a little bit too long, and it stretches on for 20 days as well, so that's quite a large time frame ascending triangle, right? We could have this on the 30-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, and it would resolve itself within just a couple of days. But this has lasted for 3 weeks now, and granted, we have actually kind of pumped up above it a couple of times, which is not good. That tells us that, we've had our breakout. This actually was a perfect breakout and we didn't do anything with it, right? So these are not good signs, but the fact that we've got this in the first place, I think is nice. And also what I really like seeing is just, again, the fact that we have kind of bounced off this support level right here. Let's take a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 if you count this as well, hits of the support level, this being number 8. So a lot of hits at this support level if we take a look at it on this hourly time frame right here, and it looks like for now this bounce has actually stuck with the market. Now what's very important to see is if this area, which has previously acted as support back here and as support back here as well, a little bit less so, let me see if I can extend this out, bear with. Right here, something a little bit like this, you can see quite clearly that Bitcoin has kind of found quite a few interactions around this price level that stretches between about 19,400 and 19,600. It's a very tight range. I could actually make this a lot thicker and the same thing would apply. What I really need to see is Bitcoin get above this range right here. If Bitcoin is able to get above this range, then I can just quite simply draw another area of resistance on this chart that's going to be right around over here. So this is the kind of 20,300, $20,200 level. Those of you who are subscribed are gonna know that I've been talking about this for quite a lot of time on this YouTube channel right here. This is a very, very important level for Bitcoin to be able to break, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But if we are able to get above this yellow line, take a look at what happens, this yellow box even, take a look at what happens to Bitcoin when it tends to get above this yellow box. Usually, let's just look at it back here. Look, usually, if we get above this yellow box, we very quickly get at least up to the green line, if not significantly higher. When we drop below the green line, we usually come down to the yellow box. In this case, we didn't quite make it, but we came pretty close. On this occasion, we went all the way down. On this occasion, all the way up, and then back down, and right here, all the way up, back down, all the way up again, and then back down and all the way up. Look, we are gapping through the entire range. It even happened right here. We were consolidating in this range, and look at how perfectly we hit the bottom, then hit the top, then hit the bottom, hit the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, didn't quite get there, and then we ended up breaking down. So the market loves to bounce between this price level and this price level right here, just going in between these two price areas. And you know what? The good news is that we're not far away from doing this again, right? To get above this yellow box, we basically just need to rise up to $19,650, and that is very close to where we are right now. It's about $150 away, so it's not even 1% away from where we are right now. Very, very small gain that Bitcoin needs to enjoy to be able to get there, and then we're potentially looking at a pretty easy, predictable move up to this resistance area right here, which is nice because, this is a fairly predictable move. It's a nice 3.5% range. It's nothing crazy, but to be able to trade that, I think, is a really nice opportunity. It does line up with a few indicators, which I'm going to show you in just a minute as well, and that potentially strengthens this just a little bit. And the reason that I quite like this is because what we're actually looking at right now is a potential situation where we could be breaking down from the ascending triangle, right? We've hit this level many times now over these last 20 days. It's way too many for me to be comfortable with, and the fact that we are finding resistance here isn't great either. So to me, that is a potential indication that we could be ready to dip down below. I've already spoken about what this might look like. It could be a bit of a deviation, and then the market kind of comes back up. This would make so much sense. This would actually probably be the most logical thing. It's completely illogical, but it would be the most likely thing that the market ends up doing, in my opinion, if we end up breaking down, is that we come down for a bit of a deviation and then bam, we're right back up. This kind of thing happens so often. I don't even know if I should almost waste your time with showing you this, because the market does it all the bloody time. In fact, I think it's fair to say that any price action above this area right here, which by the way was the previous all-time high, right? If you were back in Bitcoin in 2017, at the end of 2017, how many of you actually saw the all-time high in front of you? I'm curious. Back in 2017, obviously I was there. I was making YouTube videos on it back then, but I'm curious how many of you guys have stuck around since then. You're going to remember that this level, 19,600, was actually the real all-time high that Bitcoin said. Everyone says it's 20. It wasn't 20. It was 19,600. Although, of course, this depends on which exchange you're looking at, right? For South Korea, on BitHub, it went up to, I don't know, like 27 or something stupid. But on the exchanges that Western people generally use, which is obviously most of us, Bitcoin only hit 19.6. So it makes a lot of sense. So we take a look at these kind of breakouts right here, and Bitcoin has just printed so many of these deviations. Even this one turning out to be a very big deviation, which is surprising, but it has happened nonetheless. But of course, what that does mean, if we are able to break above the resistance level, is that we are going for yet another attempt at not only entering this range, but potentially even getting up to the very top right here. But this would also mean attempt 1, 2, 3, 4 at hitting this resistance level, which I think is very important, because again, just as our support levels get weaker the more we test them, so too do our resistance levels. And we have actually, this would be attempt number 4 if we don't count what happened back here, so potentially even 5, depending on how generously you want to count this. And obviously that's even more exciting, because if you are looking at the market kind of ripping up, this could all happen fairly quickly. I mean, just from here up to that resistance level, which I think is a fairly safe bet, it's going to be a 3.5% move. But if we're able to break above that, well, and if you've been paying attention to this YouTube channel, you're going to know that the next key level that I'm actually interested in is going to be this $21,700 level. You can see all these reversals going on right here and here. So we're looking at a potential 3.3%, or potentially going all the way up to about a 10% range, just for us to hit that next real area of resistance, which is such an exciting trading opportunity, guys. If that's something that you think would be fun to take advantage of, it's something that I'm interested in trading for sure. I'm actually going to be doing it on Bybit, and the great thing about Bybit, guys, is when you follow my link in the description down below, you already know the drill here. You're getting over $4,000 in bonuses when you sign up using my link in the description down below, and those bonuses are cash rewards that you can trade with, right? So you sign up using my link, make your first deposit, you're going to be getting cash deposited into your account from Bybit. This is a gift from Bybit, and not really from me, but I want to take credit for it, where you are being given extra money to trade completely free of charge. And if you make money, if you make profits with that money, you can withdraw that money. That is yours. You can do whatever you like with it. Really nice trading opportunity here, basically risk-free as well. And it is something that I'm interested in doing, not necessarily for the first gap. The first gap looks a little bit risky to me, because this could also turn out to be a little bit of a, kind of a lower high situation. I was actually watching MDX Crypto, and this is exactly what he was just talking about. So this guy is another great British YouTuber. He has a really cool mustache, and he is somebody that I've learned a lot from. He was just talking about this potential lower high setup that we could be looking at in the market, and if that does kind of happen, then obviously this puts, what I've just said at quite a bit of risk. The reason that I don't think this is going to happen is because it's been so reliable. Bitcoin has so reliably been able to break up into this range and then go all the way to the top. In fact, there hasn't been an instance where we didn't get to the top. Probably this. There was this, and this. So it was recent. This counts. I mean, this is nearly there, you know, with the candle bodies especially. The wick is nearly there as well. So really, it's just this that fakes you out, because the thing is by this point, if the market gets all the way up here, your stop loss should be at break even. You know, I mean, depending on how you manage risk, but that's what I would do. So it's a pretty low risk, you know, kind of setup in my opinion, and that is something that I'm interested in. I suppose the problems here are that this isn't really supported by any other indicators, right? If we take a look at the EMA ribbon, let's take a look at the 2 hour. I haven't ever looked at the 2 hour really throughout this year. Yeah, we've got EMA resistance right now, you know, and it does stretch all the way up to kind of 19.6. The bigger concern for me is that EMA resistance on the 4 hour time frame starts literally where I said that potential breakout point could be. So this is definitely something that could end up causing Bitcoin some problems, which is why I haven't actually quite decided if I want to take this trade yet. And on the 1 hour time frame, we're also in that resistance right now. So this is actually a good thing. You know, if we're in resistance and, you know, by getting up to kind of this price level, if that means we'd be clearing resistance, which wouldn't happen because we also have the 200 EMA, there's always resistance on these charts. But if we are able to specifically clear, let me repeat, sorry. If we are able to specifically clear this EMA ribbon and get up to 19.6, you know, that would mean that we've gone above our resistance level, which could mean that, you know, we are ready for a bit of a breakout. Let's take a look at some of the other indicators that I like to use. The Ichimoku Cloud, yeah, bam, look at this. Big resistance. You know, that is potentially going to be causing Bitcoin some problems. So, you know, one of the things that I think is going to be important is that if we just kind of, you know, have some fluff around this range, if we just kind of trade sideways, that's not going to be a good thing. I don't want to see Bitcoin trading sideways right here. This is an area of resistance at the end of the day. So I'm not comfortable with it. We shouldn't be down this low anyway. I've said this so many times this year. You know, and generally when I've said stuff like this, it hasn't actually been particularly good. 4 hour time frame has great news for Bitcoin though. The fact that we were able to rally up this high meant that our Ichimoku Cloud has completely closed out. You know, we don't really have any Ichimoku resistance right here anymore, which is very nice. We've basically just got support, so that's very nice to see. Indeed, it does line up with our bottom trend line, and it does potentially indicate that Bitcoin should be able to really enjoy some quite nice bounces. So this is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for as well. Daily time frame, it gets bad again though, because if we do get a bit of a pump, you know, we are potentially looking at resistance very close to us. So we do have that first kind of 3% range, but that next range that goes up to, you know, kind of 21.7, that's exactly where Ichimoku Cloud is sitting right now. So that I think is problematic. And this cloud, just like a bloody Death Star, is just getting closer and closer. And not like a Death Star, I don't know what this is like, but it's just getting closer and closer, inching downwards towards us. It's very ominous. It's really not nice to watch at all, you know, especially when we consider just how reliable these clouds have been. By the way, if you don't even know what this indicator is, then, you know, go ahead and type this into the YouTube search bar. You can see my full tutorial on how to get this indicator and how to use it. Definitely something that I think is worth keeping an eye on. The S&P 500 is going to open tomorrow as well, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens here. There's another 22 hours at the time of me recording this, but this will be opening tomorrow. Let's take a look at how this weekly candle looked. Yeah, like I said, very bad weekly candle. A lot of support here, but these are not the right settings to be using, in my opinion, for the S&P 500 for that Ichimoku Cloud. But yeah, definitely not a nice weekly candle. And the dollar is also starting to show a little bit of strength. But like I said, guys, you know, I'm not believing this too much. I certainly think that the dollar could be ready to, you know, continue to move downwards. This is also something that MDX was saying, is that we could be looking at a potential lower high situation where we kind of sweep the low as well. If we end up doing this, if we end up getting down to here now, that would be the best thing that I think we could ask for in this market. Again, something very much worth watching closely, because it would mean that we are potentially going to be putting an end to our you know, kind of uptrend right here that we've had in this short term, you know, for the dollar index right here, and that could be very good. That would that'd be very nice for me as somebody who's British, you know, having pounds. I don't actually have very many pounds at all, but I don't like to see my currency die, as much as I think it's run by a horrible government. Let's not go there. Got to compose myself, got to contain myself. I'm a very passionate person for the UK, but here we are, we're back, and US is just as bad actually. So yeah, it's all going down the shitter, ladies and gents. And if the dollar is able to kind of get down below this level, you know, I think that would mean that, yeah, we are potentially looking at a short-term kind of downtrend for the dollar, which would mean so much relief for the S&P 500 for Bitcoin as well. Right now, this is wishful thinking, but it is again something that MDX Crypto was talking about. So I just did want to bring that to your attention right here. And again, moving us back to Bitcoin. looking at this chart as well, we're just kind of battling the same resistance level that should have actually been support. So it's not an ideal situation by any means, but the good news I think is that if we do end up kind of dropping down, like I said, that deviation play potentially still possible, dropping down a little bit into the middle of this range and then coming right back up, very, very much plausible. If we don't do that, we have support at 18.5, and if we fail that, we have support at 17.5. But if we fail this support level, that would mean that we failed quite a long-standing area of support, an area of support that we've been able to enjoy pretty much since our wedge started, so again about 21 days ago, and I would think that we just very quickly dropped down here, and I certainly don't think that this area would hold as support, because it isn't support. It's never really been support. It was almost just a fluke that Bitcoin found support here before, and actually if we take a look at what Bitcoin was doing when it previously set its all-time high in 2017, we can see that there's a little bit of significance to this price area right here on the 4-hour time frame. We were topping out here a little bit. We're just focusing on this green line right here. Let me make this nice and thick for you guys. This was obviously an important price level for Bitcoin, but there's many important, you just have to keep dropping lines here, if you want to count 17.6, you know what I mean? I think it almost becomes a little bit unreasonable and unnecessary, but still an important level to be watching, and it is support at the end of the day. So I'll still be watching it as such, but I certainly won't be optimistic. I don't want to see Bitcoin dropping down there. I do think that we'd potentially dip quite deep into the teens if Bitcoin does kind of lose this 18.5 level. It would be very hard for me to see how Bitcoin could recover unless all of this turns into a deviation. But at this point, you'd be preventing yourself from trading if you think that everything is a deviation, right? So I think that's there's limits to how much you would look at this, and you've just got to be sensible. I'd love to make a video about deviations. Actually, they're a very difficult subject, but they seem to be ruling the market right now. So I think it's going to be quite important. If that's something you want to see me make, do me a favor and smash up the likes to let me know that you want to see that. And actually, guys, just before I wrap this up, I want to mention the Financial Summit once more. These guys are 𝗪𝗙𝗧𝗧, actually one of the best, coolest people I know in the space, has actually been organizing this event in Bali. It runs from the 1st of November to the 6th of November. If you're in the area, if you're in Asia, wherever in the world you are, if you're curious to meet me, curious to meet 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧, a bunch of other people that are way cooler than me, then go ahead and follow just type the Financial Summit into Google. I didn't put it in the description. I will do it today. Go ahead and check out thefinancialsummit.com in the description, and you can get yourself in. This is a very expensive event. It's not for people that don't have a whole lot of money, but that in itself is the reason to join, because if you can afford the entry ticket, you're only going to be around other people that can, which means that you're potentially buying yourself into some really, really cool rooms. And this is basically a vacation. You're getting a lot of cool stuff, luxurious accommodation, all-inclusive experiences, and so on and so forth. It's a very, very cool package, which would add up to roughly 9K anyway if you went on a vacation, but you're hanging out with crypto traders. So really, really cool stuff. If this is something that you are interested in, then go ahead and check it out. And there's me right there. Look at that. So go ahead and check this out if you are interested. Very, very cool event, and I am super, super excited for being there. But with that, guys, you already know the deal. If anything I've said sounds interesting to you and you want to be able to get your hands dirty with some free cash anyway, money that you don't even have to risk, then you can do that by following the link in the description to Bybit down below. Get yourself that bonus of $4,000. BitGet, after that, if you're curious, is offering you guys 8K in bonuses as well. So there's quite a bit going on behind BitGet as well. Bybit obviously being my preferred exchange, so that's why I'm highlighting this to you first. And it's a shame that their bonus isn't as big, but you're going to be very happy with Bybit. I am anyway, so that's why I talk about it. Obviously, been working with them for a little bit of time, but I wouldn't have chosen to work with them if I wasn't super, super, super happy with them. And of course, if you want to get behind the closed doors of everything that I'm offering, then that's all going to be with these steps on screen right here. First link in the description down below will take you to my free Telegram channel. Looks a little bit like this. Then click on my name at the bottom of any post, and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP. That's where you can see exactly what I'm trading in real time, where I'm telling you everything about every decision I'm making, all the thinking that's going into it, all the decisions that all the things that I'm considering, and so on and so forth. And of course, if you want the Full-Flight Academy course as well, to be able to learn everything I know about trading from A to Z in a video course, that's actually going to be coming for free with your VIP membership, depending on which membership you take. So most people are also getting that completely free of charge as well. With that, though, I am going to be heading off. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, you know what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, check Bybit out if you want that bonus. You're getting $4,000 deposited into your account as cash that you can trade with, withdraw the profits on. Very, very cool offer. And of course, like I said, just to make sure that you don't miss this very time-sensitive content, that bell icon is going to be a good friend of yours, as will the first link in the description, because we also post about our videos down there in Telegram, so you get those notifications straight to your phone around the clock whenever they go out. And obviously, we're not going to spam you because that would be very annoying. There you go. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'm out. Bye-bye.